Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtike. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Karoti Vacharam Sangam Nandeti Girim Yat Kripatam Bande Shri Karoti Nadari Paramanandam Shri Chaitanya Ishwar. We are in the session of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18. I think you have completed till 29. Today's will start from text 30. Am I right, Matajis?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So 1.18.30. Can anyone read the sloka and translation, please?
Hare Krishna Mantaji, pronounce.
Pranams, Mataji.
1.18.30 Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 30. Satu Brahma Risheram She Gatashum Uragam Rusha Vinirgachandanushkotya Nidhaya Puram Agatah. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. While leaving, the king, being so insulted, picked up a lifeless snake with his bow and angrily placed it on the shoulder of the sage. Then he returned to his palace.
Thank you, Mataji. Can anyone read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I read the purport?
Yeah, Mataji. Thank you.
Purport
Please.
by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. The king thus treated the sage tit for tat. Although he was never accustomed to such silly actions. By the will of the Lord, the king, while going away, found a dead snake in front of him, and he thought that the sage who had coldly received him thus might be coldly rewarded by being offered a garland of dead snake. In the ordinary course of dealing, this was not very unnatural. But in case of Maharaja Parikshit's dealing with the Brahmana sage, this was certainly unprecedented. It so happened by the will of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. So we are actually in the scene of Parikshit Maharaj. He went for actually hunting. So he was very tired. He was very hunger and he was feeling very hunger and thirst. So there was an ashrama. So he has seen the Brahmana's ashramam nearby. So he went to the ashramam and he wanted of water. There was a Muni, he was in meditation, Samiki Muni. So he was actually doing meditation. So once he went there, he was actually asking that anyone is there, I am feeling thirsty, but there was no response. But he has noticed that the Muni is there. He was actually in the meditation posture, closed eyes, and he was actually doing the meditation, but he got insulted. So he wants to actually, because of king, the nature of the king means he should be actually respected. Wherever he goes, he is expecting respect from others. This is the nature of the human, no? So, but Parikshit Maharaj is a great devotee. So maybe he has done it as a tit for tat. Means because the Brahmana has insulted him, so he also actually wants to punish him. So what he did when he was actually leaving that ashrama, he has picked up a lifeless snake on the path. So from his bow, he has taken the bow and he put it around the shoulder of the sage. And then he returned to his palace. So he thought that, okay, this is a punishment for the king because this is an insult for the Brahmana, the saint. So actually, this is unnatural in the sense he is such a perfect devotee of the Lord. So the devotee, they won't actually, they have to tolerate everything. It is not his quality to actually punish others, even though they got insulted from others. Amanina manadena kirtaneya sadaharihi. This is recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the quality of a pure devotee. The pure devotee has many transcendental qualities. So it is actually given in the Shastras almost 26 transcendental qualities the pure devotee should possess. So in that few are, he is actually friendly to everybody. He will treat everybody equally. Okay, no partiality. And everybody as his friend. No envious nature. And all these qualities are actually listed in the Shastras about the pure devotee. So he is one of the pure devotee. So he should not actually do like this, but it's happened. So Prabhupada mentioned in the last line, it so happened by the will of the Lord. Okay. So generally, we have a question that whatever is happened, whatever challenges we are facing, we have an understanding that because of our past karma, we are facing different challenges in our life. Am I right? But here Prabhupada mentioned that it is by the will of the Lord. So how do we know? How can we actually categorize whether it's because of our karma or it is happening by the will of the Lord? Is there any difference between these two? Means here Prabhupada actually says that even though he has done the insult, he actually insulted the Brahmana. He's saying that he is not actually doing purposefully. It is actually happened by the will of the Lord. Means the Parikshit Maharaj haven't done any mistake.
Yeah, Mataji. Because only then we got the opportunity to hear Bhagavatam, no? After Shukadeva Goswami spoke to Parikshit. Otherwise, we would not have. I mean,
If the curse has not happened,
yeah.
if this past.
So the Lord wantedly arranged it so that we will all be able to know get the nectarian
Yeah. Yeah,
juice of
thank you so
Bhagavatam.
much, Mataji. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's right. So the mood of the devotee is he has to actually accept everything as the will of the Lord. Whether it is an insult or whether it is a glorification, whatever it may be, he will actually accept for the pleasure of the Lord. He won't consider, though this one happened because of my action. Ahankara vimudatma karta aham iti manyate. Those who are actually non-devotees, they will consider that because of their own action, they are actually facing all these things. Anyway, we will actually, in the next verse, we are going to see the mood of Parikshit Maharaj after this action. Okay, so we will move on to the next sloka. All these slokas are actually very wonderful. Even though it has only limited sentence, it contains a lot of values in this. See, here it is given that he found a dead snake in front of him, and he thought that he was actually coldly received by the saintly people. Means the sage didn't give that much. He was not responded at all when Parikshit Maharaj, when the king was actually entering to his ashramam. So he also actually coldly rewarded by being offered a garland to a dead snake. So this is the nature of the normal human being. That person actually did this to me, no? So I have also actually proved myself that. So this is the nature of the normal human being. So, but here Parikshit Maharaj also acted in the same way. That's why the confusion or question may arose, no? So why he actually, even though he was a king, king means he is in a responsible position, so he should not actually acted like a normal citizen. So he has to maintain his dignity and all. So as a king, he shouldn't do it. And because as a king means he should give respect to the Brahmanas. As per Vedic Shastras, he has to actually respect the Brahmanas. He has to give protection to the cows. So these two things should be important for the administrator. So he should not actually do like that. And in the second category, if he is a pure devotee, he should not do that. In both the case, he shouldn't do that, but it happened. Okay, let us see the mood of the Parikshit Maharaj in the next verse. Text 31. Dhanashri Mataji, you want to read the sloka?
Yes, Mataji, may I?
Yeah, please. Yeah, Mataji, please continue with the translation.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam Mataji.
Pranams, Mataji.
Shloka. Esha kim nibruta shesha karano milite kshanaha mrusha samadhir ahosvit kimno syat kshetra bandhubhihi. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Upon returning, he began to contemplate and argue within himself whether the sage had actually been in meditation, with senses concentrated and eyes closed, or whether he had just begun feigning trance just to avoid receiving a lower kshatriya. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Divya Mataji, you want to read the purport?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Please
So,
continue.
purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king, being a devotee of the Lord, did not approve of his own action, and thus he began to wonder whether the sage was really in a trance or was just pretending in order to avoid receiving the king, who was a Kshatriya and therefore lower in rank. Repentance comes in the mind of a good soul as soon as he commits something wrong. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur and Srila Jiva Goswami do not believe that the king's action was due to his past misdeeds. The arrangement was so made by the Lord just to call the king back home, back to Godhead. Shall I continue or somebody wants to read, Mataji? Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, you continue, Mataji. No one has raised. You please.
According to Srila Vishwanta Chakravarti, the plan was made by the will of the Lord, and by the will of the Lord, the situation of frustration was created. The plan was that for his so-called misdeed, the king could be cursed by an inexperienced Brahmana boy infected by the influence of Kali, and thus the king would leave his hearth and come home earth and home for good. His connections with Srila Sukadeva Goswami would enable the presentation of great Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered to be the book incarnation of the Lord. This book incarnation of the Lord gives much fascinating information of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, like his Rasa Leela with the spiritual covered damsels of Rajabhumi. This specific pastime of the Lord has a special significance because anyone who properly learns about this particular pastimes of the Lord will certainly be dissuaded from mundane sex desire and be placed on the path of sublime devotional service to the Lord. The pure devotee's mundane frustration is meant to elevate the devotee to a higher transcendental position. By placing Arjuna and the Pandavas in frustration due to the intrigue of their cousins, brothers, the prelude of the Battle of Kurukshetra was created by the Lord. This was to incarnate the sound representative of the Lord Bhagavad Gita. So, by placing King Parikshit in a awkward position, the incarnation of Srimad Bhagavatam was created by the will of the Lord. Being distressed by hunger and thirst was only a show because the king endured much even in the womb of his mother. He was never disturbed by the glaring heat of the Brahmastra released by Ashwatthama. The king's distressed condition was certainly unprecedented. The devotees like Maharaja Parikshit are powerful enough to forbear such distresses by the will of the Lord, and they are never disturbed. The situation in this case was therefore all planned by the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. And pranams to you. So in this verse, there are three main points. The first one is repentance come in the mind of the pure devotee. So Parikshit Maharaj, even though he has done that action, he is actually repentance means he is actually thinking about his action. So this is the mood of a pure devotee. Whatever he has done, the devotee should be very much conscious and careful about of his actions, okay, of his or her actions. Because always they will very much careful about their action because they are very conscious that they should not offend anybody. Okay, that is a very important thing. So if they offended anybody, then it will be very dangerous for their devotional path. So they always very much careful about they should not insult or offend anybody. Okay, but here Parikshit Maharaj was also thinking about, he is actually repenting. And the next point is king's action is not done by his karma. Here, two acharyas, Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura and Jiva Goswami, they both specifically mentioned that the king's action was due to his past, not due to his past misdeeds. Okay, so they clearly mentioned that this is happened. Whatever is happened is all happened by the will of the Lord. So this is the second point. And the third point is this Granthavadara, this Srimad Bhagavatam. So because of this incident, we all are actually blessed to get Srimad Bhagavatam through Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami. So these are the 3 points, main points in this sloka. Okay, so let us go the point one by one. The first one is repentance. Okay, see the Parikshit Maharaj is actually thinking about his action, contemplating and argue within himself whether the sage had actually been in meditation. So he was thinking that if the sage is actually in the meditation, so this is my mistake. I have actually insulted him. But I'm not sure whether he is actually concentrated. He actually closed his eyes. He is simply acting that because he actually doesn't want to give respect to me, because and the category wise, as per Varnashrama Dharma, Brahmanas are in the higher level. So the Kshatriyas has to actually give respect to the Brahmanas. So here he is actually entering, means he doesn't want to actually give actually doesn't want to give respect to me. That's why he actually behaved in that way. So he was actually contemplating about his action. Okay, so but he did not approve of his own action, and thus he began to wonder whether the sage was really in it. And so whatever he has done, it is not actually accepted by himself. Okay, so this is the mood of the devotee. They won't actually insult anybody, even though they faced any challenges and they faced any problems from others also. So that is the mood of the devotee. So actually in Brahma's prayers, he mentioned, no, Tattena Gambam Susamikshamanam Bunchana Yevatmakritam Vipaham. Means whatever the unfavorable condition happened or they have to undergo, they won't consider that situation as unfavorable. The devotees will accept all the situation as favorable. Okay, so they will consider that this is happened by the mercy of the Lord. So whatever is happening, it is good for me. That is the mood of the pure devotee. Okay, sometimes a devotee is greatly praised because of his transcendental activities, and sometimes he may be criticized, even though there is no reason for adverse criticism. But sometimes they have to actually face all these things. So the pure devotees, however, is always scholars, means the devotees' activities are on the transcendental plane because they are actually situated in the transcendental platform. Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna, Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Shema Atmavan. When the person is actually affected by the 3 modes of material nature, then they will actually react. Okay, if they are above these 3 modes, then they won't be affected by all these external activities. So the devotees will always actually remain in the transcendental platform. In that Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna is actually recommending Arjuna that be in the transcendental platform, Suddha Sattva platform. Please come out from these 3 modes. So because of that 3 modes, he is actually get affected by the affection, means the opposite party, his cousins are there, so he doesn't want to fight. So because of the bodily relation, so all these things are actually come when we actually remain in the 3 modes of material nature. So but the devotees, they will actually already crossed over these 3 modes. How they crossed over? Because they all surrendered to the Lord. Daivihi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. It is difficult to cross over all these 3 modes because these all 3 modes are actually belongs to the Supreme Lord only. They are also divine. But Duratyaya, it is actually mentioned by the Lord himself, like it is very difficult to cross over. So, Mam eva ye prapatyante, those who surrendered unto me, Maya metam tarantite, they will easily cross over it. So the devotees are actually surrendered souls, so it is easy for them to cross over and they will remain in the transcendental platform. And another point here it is mentioned is in the previous verse, he was actually affected because of hunger and thirst, he reacted like that. But we can't actually say that. The acharyas are saying that he won't actually do like that, because he has faced many other challenges in the beginning itself. When he was in the womb of his mother, that time itself he was actually affected by Ashwatthama, Brahmastra. He was affected by Brahmastra, and so much heat was actually created in the womb itself. But he tolerated, he didn't react anything. So by the mercy of the Lord, he was actually protected. So he has actually faced many challenges in the beginning itself. So this simple hunger and thirst, it won't actually make us to do this action. So this, he actually done all these things because by the will of the Lord it happened. So that is the main thing. A devotee's transcendental position within this material world is maintained in the association of pure devotees. So, how can we actually maintain or remain in the transcendental platform? Is it possible for us, because we all are living in this material world, is it possible for us to actually remain in the transcendental platform? This question is answered by Srila Prabhupada in one of the purport. He mentioned that a devotee's transcendental position within this material world is maintained in the association of pure devotees. So we should always associate with the pure devotees. If you are associating with the devotees, then automatically we can remain in the transcendental platform. Okay. So what activities we have to do? Simply by hearing the glorious activities enacted by the Lord in different ages and in different incarnations. With the association of devotees, we have to hear and chant the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have to discuss about the various pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Krishna conscious movement is based on this principle. So one of our Acharya, Srila Narottama Das Thakura, has sung, "My dear Lord, let me be engaged in your transcendental loving service as indicated by the previous acharyas, and let me live in the association of pure devotees. That is my desire, life after life." So this is actually the mood of one of the Vaishnava Acharya, Narottama Das Thakura. Many devotees, even the Prashedas, the famous instruction, when they actually met Lord Shiva and when they actually trying to follow the austerities recommended by Lord Shiva, and by his mercy, they also got the darshan of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when once they actually got the darshan and boon from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they actually prayed to the Lord. What was their prayer? They have already achieved the great goal. Like by seeing the Lord means they won't actually take birth again in this material world. So they achieved the goal. But when the Lord was actually asking them, what boon you all want? Like that is the mood of the Lord, no? Even for Dhruva Maharaj also, he asked, what do you want? So similarly, he asked the Prashedas what they want. So the Prashedas were actually requested the Lord. The main thing is, we have actually seen your lotus feet. So whoever actually seen their lotus feet means all their desires were fulfilled already. They don't have any other desire. All their desires were fulfilled. So their only request is, since we are in this material world, we don't know, we don't know how many life we are going to take again. So whatever form or whatever body we are going to take, our only request is we should always be remain in the association of pure devotees, and we have to continuously hear your glorious pastimes. So this was their request. So throughout in the Srimad Bhagavatam cantos, various devotees, they are requesting the same thing. So the association is the highest benediction rewarded by the Lord. So it is not easy to get the devotees association. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Sastra Kai, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hui. So 1 minute or even a second association of the pure devotees makes our life a lot of changes. Okay. So here Parikshit Maharaj is in the transcendental platform. So he was not actually, definitely whatever is happened, it's not by his mistake. So that is the second one. This is the arrangement of the Lord. And whatever the Lord has done, we cannot actually understand the mood of the Lord, why this happened to me. But the devotees, they won't ask this question. They will accept the fact as it is. So that is the mood of the devotee. That is, they are very obedient that they will actually accept the fact as it is. Okay, but the others, they will actually question why it happened to me. So why I am actually suffering all these things. All these questions will come to the normal persons only. Okay, even though frustration was created, the Lord actually, why he actually created, the plan was that his so-called misdeed, the king, could be cursed by an inexperienced Brahmana. Okay. So through these words, it is very clear that the Kali has already entered, because the Brahmanical boy, he's so powerful because he possesses the Brahmanical qualities. Because of his inexperience, he actually cursed the king. So it shows that the Kali has already entered through this Brahmanical boy, this Brahmana boy. And anyway, even though Parikshit Maharaj got the curse from this Brahmana boy Shrinki, the book incarnation of the Lord has existed. So sound incarnation, Granthavadara, it so actually existed by the mercy of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord. So the book contains all the transcendental pastimes. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of transcendental subject matters. And the specific pastime of the Lord is here, mentioned here is Rasa Leela. So whoever actually hears, whoever actually discusses about this transcendental subject matter, what is the result? Will certainly be dissuaded from mundane sex desire and be placed on the path of sublime devotional service to the Lord. So the highest position will be rewarded, like we all will get, whoever actually associating with this Granthavadara, the Srimad Bhagavatam, automatically they will blessed by this sublime devotional service. And whatever the contaminations in our heart will be removed. Shunvatam swakataha Krishnaha punya shravana kirtanaha hridayandastohi abhadrani vitinoti sukrit sadam. By hearing and discussing about the glorious pastimes of the Lord, and the Vaishnavas and the devotees pastimes, automatically whatever anarthas we are carrying over life after life, all that anarthas will be cleared. So this is another credit. And another example is given here. See, Arjuna also faced the same situation. Arjuna and the Pandavas, they were in frustration because they have to actually fight with their cousin brothers. So the prelude of the Battle of Kurukshetra was created by the Lord. So why this frustration actually happened to his great devotees? Because through them, he wants to actually give Bhagavad Gita to every one of us. Similarly, here also, to actually give Srimad Bhagavatam, it happened to Parikshit Maharaj. So here they mentioned that being distressed by hunger and thirst was only a show, because the king endured much. He was actually capable to face any type of challenges. So this simple hunger and thirst actually won't affect his mood. So it so happened by the will of the Lord. Okay. Shall we move on to the next verse? Text 32. Can anyone read the sloka, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Archana Sunil Kumar Mataji is raising her hands. Hare Krishna
Yeah,
Mataji.
could you read the sloka and translation, please? Archana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Pranam Mataji.
Pranam Smaj.
Tasya putrodi tejasve viharan balator badhai राज्ञाघं प्राभितं तादं श्रुत्वा तत्रेदम् अब्रवीत्. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sage had a son who was very powerful, being a Brahmana's son. While he was playing with inexperienced boys, he heard of his father's distress, which was occasioned by the king. Then and there, the boy spoke as follows. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Can anyone read the purport, please?
Mataji,
Hare Krishna.
Bhargavi Mataji is raising her hands.
Yeah, Mataji. Please continue, Mataji. Bhargavi.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Purport
Pranams, Mataji.
by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Due to Maharaja Parikshit's good government, even a boy of tender age who was playing with other inexperienced boys could become as powerful as a qualified Brahmana. This boy was known as Shringi, and he achieved good training in Brahmacharya by his father so that he could be as powerful as a Brahmana even at that age. But because the age of Kali was seeking an opportunity to spoil the cultural heritage of the four orders of life, the inexperienced boy gave a chance for the age of Kali to enter into the field of Vedic culture. Hatred of the lower orders of life began from this Brahmana boy under the influence of Kali, and thus cultural life began to dwindle day after day. The first victim of Brahminical injustice was Maharaja Parikshit, and thus the protection given by the king against the onslaught of Kali was slackened. Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranams.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. So, in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, there is a nice verse like Panchaitani Mahabaho. I think it is in 18 point. It's in the 18th chapter. Yeah, 14th verse, 13th verse, sorry. So in that it is mentioned that Panchaitani Mahabaho, whatever is happened, whatever action we are doing, behind that action, there are 5 causes. The reasons of that action means the 5 facts or 5 causes are there for each and every action. That was Panchaitani Mahabaho. So what are the actually causes which makes or which acts one to actually do some particular action? The first one is the body. That is the cause, no? The body, through our body only we are doing some particular action. So the place of action, that is the body. The second one is the doer, the performer, okay? And the third one is the various senses. Because of our senses affected by the different modes, we are actually doing some particular action. So the third one is senses. And the fourth one is different kinds of endeavor. So in order to achieve that, we are actually trying ourselves. So the different kinds of endeavor. That's the fourth one. And the ultimate cause is, can you guess? What is the ultimate cause of all these 4?
Lord, Bhagavan.
Mind.
Yeah,
Oh, Bhagavan, Lord.
the super
Supreme
soul, the
Personality.
Lord. Yeah, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. So these are the 5 factors of our action. Okay. So here the Acharyas keep on reminding and telling us that this one happened by the will of the Lord. So the devotee's action is under the guidance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because the Lord is actually residing as Chaitya Guru. Okay? So he always actually instruct the devotee. He is ready to instruct everybody, but whoever is listening, they will actually follow the actions. The devotees are very obedient, so they are actually immediately follow the instructions given by the Chaitya Guru. So the Lord is residing as Chaitya Guru, and he was actually instructing. That's why here we says that it is actually happened by the will of the Lord. Whatever the devotees are doing, it's all actually, it's all the instruction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that should be our understanding. And here it is given that due to Maharaj Parikshit's good government, even a boy of tender age who was playing with other inexperienced boys could become as powerful as a qualified Brahmana. So, Chaturvarnyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagasaka. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, no? So, Varnashrama Dharma is very, very important. It is the duty of the administrator to maintain this Varna and Ashrama in the society. So, by maintaining this Varna and Ashrama, automatically the society will be purified, civilized, and it will advance in the spiritual life, and it will attain the goal as mentioned by the Vedas, as given in the Vedas or prescribed in the Vedas. But here it clearly says that Maharaj Parikshit, the ruling was very good, that automatically they maintained their Varna and Ashrama in the society. So because of that, even this boy was in a tender age, he was trained well in the Brahmanical culture. So he knows the Brahmanical culture. Then why he did so? Because he was inexperienced. His age is very small. He is not experienced. He has learned it, but without practice, he can't actually do it. So this boy was known as Shrinki, and he achieved good training in Brahmacharya by his father. So that's why he actually followed the austerities, the principles of Brahmanical culture very nicely. So because of that austerity, he is so powerful. But because of his inexperience, he doesn't know where to do, what to do. Okay, so this what happened to Parikshit Maharaj. And through his action, the Brahmana boy's action, because of his inexperience, we can understand that the cultural heritage of the four orders of life, means the Kali entered in the Vedic culture. So the Vedic culture is very, very important. The Vedas of our catalog. Everyone should lead our life according to the instructions prescribed with the Vedas. If the Vedas are actually contaminated or miscommunicated, then what happens to the society? What happened to the society? If the guidelines are not clear, what will happen to the followers?
Mataji, corrupted and godless
Corruption.
civilization.
Yeah,
Corruption.
automatically. They don't know which one is right and which one is wrong. So we all are actually experiencing, facing all these difficulties. So when it happened almost 5,000 years ago. Kali has entered in the Vedic culture. And because of that, who was the first victim? Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, because the Kali wants to actually cut down the head person, remove the head person from the society, because he was the one maintaining the Vedic culture. He was so strong. He was well versed in the Vedic culture. He followed his previous hierarchy, the Pandavas, whatever they have maintained. He is following all those principles very nicely. So because of his power, the Kali could not enter into the society. But his time has come, means the Kali's time has come. So Parikshit Maharaj has to leave. So that's why it's the will of the Lord. So the Kali entered the Vedic culture. He entered through the false pride of Shrinki. So what was actually Shrinki's mood? Why he actually cursed the Parikshit Maharaj? Because he thought that I am Brahmana. So I know all the Vedic principle. This Kshatriya, he is lower than me. He doesn't know that much Vedic culture. Simply he is actually ruling this kingdom. He cannot claim that he is so powerful than me. So I have to prove myself that we are actually the powerful people. This false pride came into the mind of this poor boy. So because of that, he cursed Parikshit Maharaj. So this false pride makes the whole Vedic culture like degradation happen from that time itself. Hatred of the lower orders of the life began from the Brahmana boy. So after that, we came to know that the casteism became more popular. Like everybody started claiming that I am so and so, so I should be respected. I should not give respect to the labor class. So they actually tortured a lower class of people. But the purpose of the Vedas were totally corrupted because of the influence of Kali. And thus the cultural life began to dwindle day after day. So from that day onwards, the whole scenario changed. The first victim of Brahmanical injustice was Maharaja Parikshit, and thus the protection given by the king against the onslaught of Kali was slackened. So this is what happened from the beginning. So what we have to do? So Shringi got false pride. Through that, he thought that he was a powerful Brahmana and considers others as lower than them. Okay. So as long as Parikshit is there, he is a good ruler. The Kali cannot actually flourish. He cannot actually expand. So he actually executed its plan. Okay, I have to enter the mind of Brahmana, because the Brahmanas are considered as the administrators, the higher level, higher order, not in the administrator, the higher order. They are actually considered as the head of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So if we enter the head, if any bad thing enter into our mind, then what will happen? We will do accordingly. So similarly, it happened, it entered into the mind of the Brahmana boy. Parikshit Maharaj was a first victim. So in every place has been legalized by. So what happened later? Every place will be legalized by intoxication, gambling, illicit sex, and slaughterhouse by the influence of Kali. So it expanded its kingdom. So now the government itself, they have actually legalized all these things. Legalized the intoxication, legalized the slaughterhouse, no? And legalized the gambling, illicit sex. All these things are actually legalized by the government itself. So because of the influence of Kali, the whole society gets spoiled. The Vedic culture become degraded. Caste system, money, women, so all these things, everybody is actually getting affected. The women should be actually give proper protection, but that is not happening at all. So we all are actually experiencing all this inauspicious, or what to say, the complete dwindle of our society is because of this Kali. So what can we do? Yeah, we are actually undergoing this Kali's effect, presence. So as a devotee, what we have to do? So we should be aware of the Vedic degradation. So through the Shastras, we understood that because of the effect of Kali, we are actually facing all these problems in our day-to-day life. So our responsibility is to follow the instructions of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So by following the footstep of our acharyas is very, very important. So we should always connect ourselves with the devotees. And we should hear Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, because these two transcendental books contain all the transcendental subject matters. By connecting ourselves with Buddh Bhagavata and the person Bhagavata, means the pure devotees, automatically we will be protected by the Supreme Lord. The protection will be there. So even though the whole atmosphere is polluted, by the mercy of the Lord, we can actually progress to achieve our goal. So this is a recommended process. So any questions or any points, any comments to add?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, as you said, listening and reading, you said, Mataji, it will actually improve us. Listening happens because somebody is preparing, and now you have prepared, Mataji, you have given the class, so we are listening. We are not doing any work, we are just listening, Mataji. That is happening. But when I am planning to read, I feel I'm becoming very lazy, that I'm not reading properly, Mataji. Any book, now Bhagavatam itself, when we take, when we read 2 or 3 verses itself, I stop reading, Mataji. I feel I'm lazy. Then I feel I will do some other work and then come back. Then I'm not reading. It goes like that. Then after 1 week only I take. So this reading is not happening. That is from my side. It is not happening, Mataji. Listening is happening. But from our side, the training or reading is not happening, Mataji, because I don't know why it is like I feel I'm lazy to read. I don't know how I will bring my mind to this, Mataji. If there is any test or something like that, we have to prepare and come for that. Then we are sitting and reading, because it will be
I
oral
have to
test.
do. I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
do.
That time we are
Okay.
sitting and by hearting the verse like this, but otherwise we are not touching that book, Mataji. That is the problem. Hare Krishna.
Actually the solution is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Namna Mahari Bahuda, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the second verse, no, Namna Mahari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrarpita Niyamita Smaranena Kalakar. So in that, it is given that all these solutions are in our front itself. It is given. But still, we don't have a taste to actually do that. Why? Because we are so unfortunate. But anyway, we are actually fortunate in the sense that we get the opportunity to connect ourselves, at least listening. And how can we improve the reading session? That is also mentioned that Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Sanvido Bhavanti Hritkarna Rasayana Kadaka. We should actually read with the devotees. Instead of actually reading by yourself, there are 2 categories of devotees are mentioned in the Shastras. One is actually Bhajanananti, and the second one is Goshtyanandi. Okay. So this Krishna conscious movement belongs to Goshtyanandi. Means we will always actually with the group of devotees, because it is mentioned in the Shastra that Satam Prasangan. With the devotees, we should do Kirtan. That's why instead of the chanting, that Kirtan is very much recommendable, because our mind is so strong that it will actually take us away anywhere at any time. So this Sankirtana movement is very much helpful than the chanting. Even though the chanting is prescribed, yeah, we have to do. But in order to get the taste of that nama, we should actually associate with the devotees. So whatever the devotional service we want to do, we should do with the devotees. That will be very much helpful to get the taste. And the second one is Vaishnava Seva. In order to get the taste of reading and any other devotional service, hearing and all, we should do other service to the Vaishnavas. So these things are recommended, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, thank you. Any points? Anybody wants to add any other?
Mataji, I have a
Points.
question, Mataji. Actually, it's not a question you actually answered, but I just want to rehear whatever
Yeah.
the answer is. We were
Yes.
discussing about if something bad is happening, you were asking a question like, should we think it as a will of the Lord, or should we think it as a pastime or past karma of ours? So answer is both, or should we take it as only will of the Lord, Mataji?
It is actually the others understood that it is by the will of the Lord, because when it happened to the pure devotees, so they will actually, others think that, okay, whatever is happened, it's all and by the will of the Lord. So they will accept it. Okay. Whenever the challenges come, they will actually consider both are same, means both have the same meaning. Means, okay, it is by the will of the Lord. Because of my past karma, I have to face a biggest challenge, but by the mercy of the Lord, it becomes reduced. So the pure devotees will understand that I am actually clearing up my past karma. Okay. So by the will of the Lord, by the mercy of the Lord, it becomes reduced. And whatever is happening, it's good for me, because they will consider all the situation as a favorable situation. They won't actually consider this is not favorable to me, this one is favorable, why the Lord did so. They won't consider, they won't actually differentiate between the activities, the situations. So they will accept it. So both have the same meaning.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Perfect, Mataji. Got it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
But what others will think, we don't know what that person has done. Because of that sinful reaction, he is undergoing this thing. So that is the
Yes.
mood of others.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Mataji, one more small
Yes,
doubt is you are telling this pure devotees means it is in the last stage, Mataji. There are three stages, no? Kanishta, Madhyama,
Uttama and
and
Madhya.
Uttama. So this applies only to Uttama.
Even the Madhyama Adhikari, they can understand this. They can understand this is by the will of the Lord.
Okay.
So the understanding is different. But see, the understanding in the sense, the realization part has to come. Means we all are actually understood through, by knowledge we can understand that, okay, this is happening because of Kali Yuga, and whatever we are undergoing, this is because of karma. So it means that we understood. But when personally, if you are facing any challenges, that realization should come. So that realization part is Uttama level. You got it, Mataji?
Yes,
We are getting a
Mataji.
lot of information through this Vedic literature. So we have a little understanding. But that realization will come. That means the understanding will be complete realization, no? The understanding will be complete when we realized the truth. So
Yeah.
that realization will be realized by the Uttamadhikari, the pure devotees.
Sure, Mataji. Thank you.
Any other points to add? So thank you. Here, Prabhu mentioned that Gauranga Darshan Prabhuji's videos will help. Alternative listening and reading. Yeah, we can hear the devotees lecture. And even the reading also, Mataji, some audio reading is there. If we read by ourselves, then we may get tired or bored. If we actually hear, because we have a tendency to hear, at least reading also actually, like hearing, we can do it. There are audios are there, no? Audio books are there. But it is very good if we read by ourselves, because these transcendental books are written by Srila Prabhupada. So in what condition actually in what situation he has written all these books, we all actually heard and read. So this have more effect. The book Bhagavata is really very effective. Yeah, nowadays it is easy for us to actually read from the laptops and mobile, everything. These e-books are really very much helpful instead of carrying books, but it is good to actually read from the books. Try to read with someone else, with your friend or someone else. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the suggestion.
Sure, Mataji. Sure, Mataji. I will try to read with my friend. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, we have sloka recitation now. Can we do that,
Yeah.
Mataji?
Yes, Madhi, please carry on. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, everybody. So, these shlokas, I will share the shlokas. Would anybody like to do chapter 1? 1, 2, 3. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Mataji. Can I try, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयात् इतरतश्चार्देष्वभिघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यच्छूरयः तेजो वारिमृतां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोचितकैतवोऽत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्रमस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनिकृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतद्रव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, धन्यवाद।
Mataji, Dandavat Pranams Mataji. Hare Krishna. So let's begin with Kunti Stuti. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishnamurti Prabhuji, would you like to begin?
Sindhu Mataji is raising hand, Mataji.
Sindhu Mataji. Okay. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, pranams.
Pranams.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 18. Kunti uvacha Namasye purusham tvadyam Ishwaram prakrite param Alakshyam sarvabhutanam Antarbahiravastitam. Text 19. Maya jamanika channam Agnadokshajamavyayam Nalakshyashe mudha drisha Nato natyadaro yata.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranams.
Divya Mataji.
Divya Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनां मलात्मनां भक्तियोगविधानार्थं कथं पश्येमहि स्त्रियः कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranams Mataji.
Archana Mataji.
Archana Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Pranams. Nama Pankajanaಭಾಯ Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Yada Rishikeshakalena Devagi Kamsena Ruddhadichiram Sucharpida Vimojidaham cha sahatmaja Vidho Vayaivanadhe Namakorvibadhanat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. Dandavat Pranams.
Dhanashri Mataji.
Dhanashri Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranams.
Text 24. Vishan Mahagne Purushad Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasakrukshetrah Mrudhe Mrudhe Maharathastrato Draunyastratuscha Hare Dhireshitah. Text 25. विपदः सन्तुतः शश्वतत्र तत्र जगद्गुरो भवतो दर्शनं यस्यात् पुनर्भव दर्शनं. हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat Pranams.
Krishnamurti Prabhuji.
Krishnamurti Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, प्रणाम माताजी।
Pranams Prabhuji.
जन्मैश्वर्य श्रुति श्रीभिर्येदात्मा मदः पुमान् नैवार्ति अभिधातुं वै त्वम् अकिञ्चन गोचरम् नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्तगुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यपतये नमः। हरे कृष्ण माताजी, प्रणाम माताजी।
Navkishori
Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Dandavat Pranams.
Navkishori Mataji.
Navakishori Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Dandavat
मन्ये
Pranams.
त्वां कालमीशानं नादिनिधनं विभुमा समं चरन्तं सर्वत्र भूतानां यन्मिथः कलिः न वेद कश्चिदग्वश्चिन्कीर्षितं तवेहमानस्य नृणां विडम्बनं न यस्य कश्चिदयि तोस्ति कहिश्चिद देशस्य यस्मिन् विश्वमा मति नूनम. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Dhanush.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavad pranams. The last shloka, 30.
Maybe you can read, Mataji. No one else is raising.
Okay, Mataji. Janma karma cha vishvatman ajasya karturatmanaha tridyannishishu yadarshu tadatyanta vidambanam. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Rama,
Rama
Rama, Hare Hare.